Happy fall, seedlings! I am so excited. Indy, are you excited? It's fall.
I'm excited. I love our background.
It's fall. I know. I want to be there. I just want to go there.
Wait, we're not there?
No.
Did you just give away our secret? We're not really in a cornfield?
And it's really summer still.
It is really summer, but that is a...
But not when you're watching.
Yeah, right. We're right in season. In season, out of season. There's some great lessons.
Heads up, guys. You might be seeing these outfits for a while.
Yeah, this is a true statement. It's happened a lot today down here.
Yep.
Lots of people getting stuck going on wearing...
We need to pick better outfits.
We just need a wardrobe thing.
Yes. We need a closet here with clothes. That would make more sense.
There you go.
Change your shirt. Change your dress.
That's exactly right.
And ta-da!
There. See, that would be more practical when we start making more videos at some other locations.
It's true.
Then we could do that.
We could do that.
Right? So, be fantastic.
Fabulous. We're genius, aren't we?
That's right. We just get the other locations.
What are we going to teach these little seedlings today?
How about if we go to Joshua chapter 3 and we try to walk through some of the things you've been stuck on and I've been stuck on.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, Joshua's in the beginning, guys.
Yeah.
After Moses.
Right. So Moses hands it over to Joshua. Hands over a bunch of people and a trip to the promised land.
Wow.
I know. Moses have been leading really.
What a plate.
Yeah. Moses leading. God says, nope, you're not going to the promised land because you hit a rock.
Okay, come on.
I'm going to turn it over to...
Let's not.
I'm going...
He did more than that.
He did. He was very, very not good. Not good. So we're at this exciting part, right? The Israelites are finally going to get to go to the promised land. We can say lots about that, right? There, we've been talking about this down here, right?
Yeehaw.
People who are waiting for their promised land.
Yeah, but they have to wait a little bit longer.
They do, and they got to do a few things.
Just a little.
All right. Let's go.
All right. We're going to just start. Where do you want me to read to?
I want you to go get your stuckness moment. So
okay.
you read to wherever you want to, which should probably be a couple verses.
3.
That's what we're doing.
And Joshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim and came to Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they passed over. And it came to pass after 3 days that the officers went through the host, and they commanded the people, saying, When ye see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and the priests, the Levites, bearing it, then you shall remove from your place and go after it. Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near unto it, that you may know the way by which you must go, for you have not passed this way before. That's where I want to stop.
Yep, I could have guessed. All right, go.
Okay, well, let's summarize it first. So they're waiting, right? Uh-huh. They're waiting. And he's like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to go. When you see God, go first. Then you go. But it's almost like, stay back. Be careful. Mm-hmm. I didn't catch this the first time. The 2,000 cubits, right? Yeah. So it's very specific.
Very.
Kind of like, what's his name, who touched it when it was going to fall and he was killed immediately, right? It's very serious about these details.
Yep.
So we'll go back to that because that's interesting to me. Don't come near to it. Let God go before you, but follow him because you've never been this way before. Like, you don't know where you're going, right? So the 2,000 cubits, though.
So I got stuck in both of those places, right? The fact that, again, we're in love with this relationship with God, and we love to make it human. We love to make it so that we can understand it, right? So we got this idea of me and God walking hand by hand on the beach, and it's just a love fest, and it's just great, and it's wonderful, and everything's great, and and then when I start to stumble, he picks me up, he scoops me up, and he carries me for part of the way, and all of that is true at points in the journey. Right? Jesus makes it super clear. Like, that's how God views our relationship, right? When we fall, he will catch us, right? Cyndi Lauper didn't come up with the original song, right? It's time after time is all about God, right? And we can preach that. And I probably will, right? It's a super great thing that God is just always around us, always with us. But always in leadership, always, God says, listen, you need to understand there's a gap between me and you. Right? Now, again, what's cool in this story is what covers the gap? Well, the Ark of the Covenant comes in between there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we know in the New Testament that it's all about Jesus. Right? Jesus crosses the gap. But there is a gap between God the Father and us. His plans, his purposes, his ways are not ours. Just because Jesus came to us does not mean all of a sudden all that changed. All of a sudden God, right, humanized himself and was like, oh, now you think just like me, and now you feel just like me. And right, we love to make that happen. We come up with all kinds of things, and all kinds of ways where all of a sudden we're communicating with God and we're thinking like God, and we're just all these things. And the Bible's super clear. Nobody knows the heart and mind of God. Nobody knows it. Right? So again, there's this idea that we need to be respectful and understand that the plans that God has for you, he's going ahead of you with those. It's Jesus that puts us into, right, that plan, into that purpose. But God is so far ahead of me and his plan for me, it's crazy, right? But I love when you tie it into what you said, and then I can't wait to get your take on this whole thing. It's because we've never been this way before.
I have a whole vision in my head.
Go.
Because, like, I'm a mountain girl, right? So I'm thinking about, like, going hiking with people, like, or times that I've done this where I'm like, oh, you got to come to this place and I got to take you hiking, right? Like, it's so awesome and you're going to love it, and there's all these things, and I feel like it's just like this whole picture to me, like this big long hike, right? Like you go to Letchworth or something, and it's like 16 miles, and that's your life.
Yeah.
And there's always a leader.
Yeah.
There's always a leader, right? So, like, to me, that's God in all of this. And then there's moments where, like this, like, I get the picture of, like, you're hiking with these people, you're running around, you're, like, doing the thing. But then it's like, okay, you've never been here before. Hang on. Time out. This is a bad spot. Like, I have to show you, like, stay here.
Yep.
Like, when you're crossing a creek, right?
Yep.
Like, I say creek, okay, people, I'm from Pennsylvania, sorry. Like, when you're crossing a creek, and, like, you have to show them what stones to step on. Because, like, which ones go like this.
Yeah.
When you step on them and they wobble, or which ones are super slippery.
Great point.
And you're like, okay, hang on, just watch me. Or you go a little further and you're like, okay, you need somebody to hold your hand.
Yep.
It's usually me in the back who needs somebody to hold my hand because I'm a tiny girl. But, like, I don't know, that's what I picture. It's not like it's like a protection thing and like a leading thing. Like you said, like walking alongside you, but then, like, really leading you and stuff. It's, yeah, sometimes you do. And sometimes we do the same thing we do on a hike where we get really excited and we start skipping ahead of the leader. And then sometimes we trip on a rock because we skipped ahead of the leader, right? And it's the same thing we do with Jesus all the time.
Absolutely.
We always say, like, let's not skip ahead. And he's warned us of that a lot in the last few months of, like, don't get ahead of me. Because this is not, I always go back to Abraham and Sarah. Same thing. Don't get ahead of me.
Yep.
You might get there, but you might have, like, some scrapes if you jump ahead of me.
I love that. I love the imagery. I love crossing the creek, right?
That's what I think about.
I love the whole thing, right? Because it's this idea of, like, listen, there are parts of life that we're walking with God where he is like, hey, listen, we've walked this way before.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy it. Have fun.
Open road, flat and easy.
But in this specific case, he's like, wait for me, right? Respect me, honor me, right? Because I'm going to go before you and I'm going to make the way, right? There's a big difference. When we don't allow God to go before us, then we're not giving him a chance to make the way. We're going to make the way ourselves.
Well, and maybe he'll, like, move the rocks so that you can...
Maybe he'll do the impossible and
fall and break your neck.
Yeah. There's all kinds of things that he sees and he knows because he's been this way before, right? He made this way. And so we look at that and we say, if we're just... It goes back to what we've talked about this week several times, right? If I'm just going to look to God to be the stamp of approval, right? God, I'm going to make my own way, and you just clear out things, and you just play catch up with me, God. I'm going to forge ahead. That's not what God has any interest in, right? Now, again, the cool thing is when we stumble on the rock, when we land in the creek, right, we get all wet, God picks us up, right? He dusts us off. He helps heal our injuries and stuff like that. And then he says, let's do it again, right? The funny part about that is that usually he doesn't take us to the other side, right? And we heal up and then continue from there. Usually we go back to the other side and we go, he's like, yeah, let's cross this again, right?
Now do it my way.
There's an important part about crossing, right? These people had, for 40 years, were walking around in the wilderness, right? There was a need for them to realize, hey, we got to do this God's way.
Yeah. The next verse makes me really excited.
Great. Are we?
Can I read it?
Yes. But are we stopping for today? Or are we moving? Are we going to tease them and then do next week? I don't even know what
How
that
long has
says.
this been? 10 minutes? Oh, we should probably make them wait. Cliffhanger.
Okay. Cliffhanger. So Summer is very excited about the next verse.
Yeah, the next verse.
The next verse would be Joshua chapter 3, verse 5. All right. Wrap it up so we can get going.
All right. Well, just come back next week to find out what happens after the long-awaited trip to the Promised Land.
That's right. That's right.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, there's more waiting. Sorry. Don't get too excited, guys. There's still more to do.
Fantastic.
All right, seedlings. We love you. See you next week.